thanks for tuning back into our channel. So we're going to do a really quick get to know us. There's a few commonly asked questions that we're going to answer. And I'm happy because I got my husband here, our little special guest. He's not as excited as I am, but we're going to get through anyways. All right, so when did we meet?
We met a couple of weeks prior to high school, graduation that is, 2006. We met, I think, the first time face to face at the grocery store at Save Mart.
Save Mart.
On the west side of Modesto.
Woo-hoo.
I was shopping for some flowers, I believe it was Mother's Day, for my grandmother, and that's when we ran into each other.
Yep. I was coming in for after church snack, and there he was. Did you have on a gray suit and a lime green shirt or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, he was looking for flowers for his grandmother, and it was basically the rest was history. All right, so how old were we when we met and got married? So, I was 17, right?
I was 18 when we met, and then I was 21 when we got married. And you were
I was 20.
Yeah.
I had just turned 20 in October, and then we got married in November. So, all right. So, what are your individual career goals? All right. So, my career goal is to own my own business, which I've already started that. But I want to be successful in it, and I want to run it to the point where I can pass it down to my children, and just create a legacy for my kids.
My career goal, I would say, is to stay in education. I enjoy the community college system, and so I see myself continuing with counseling, maybe some administration in the counseling department, educational leadership, and then doing some work around equity, inclusion, and diversity.
Wow, so you just want to be fancy with your life. Right on. Okay. You're cute.
Well, that's something in education, though.
Okay. So what do you both do for a living?
So I'm a counselor and a coordinator at a community college.
All right. So I am a CMA, which is a certified medical assistant, and again, I own my own business, making bath and body products. So I make soap from scratch, sugar scrubs, body oils, and all that lovely stuff. So how do you balance being a wife, mother, and running your own business? So see, what happened was, like, I'm still figuring that out, honestly. Like, to be transparent, basically, the other day my hair was standing on the top of my head, and my husband had to tell me to get some rest, call the babysitter in, get yourself together, regroup. It was really intense. So honestly, it's a day-to-day process, and what I've come to learn is that it's not going to be as structured as my 9 to 5, which is, you come in, you know what you're going to do. This is at your desk. You're going to have many people coming in. I have to understand that I wear multiple hats, and they all intertwine together simultaneously sometimes, and that's okay. So I'm practicing on finding that inner peace with even though everything around me could be going on all at once. So
I think it's important too to know that sometimes balance can't be achieved, and you have to just have to learn how to prioritize and to be really flexible and adaptable depending on the day, depending on the needs of your children, the needs of the house. Balance may be a myth, who knows? But it's more about kind of going with the flow, being able to adapt, being flexible, and doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done.
I agree. So my husband, he works for the school system, and so he's off during the summers, and this summer he got to partake in me getting beat up, and he got to feel a little bit of that. So we're kind of both coming to a place in our parenting life to where we understand that, like, everything's not going to flow like that all the time, basically. And I actually was talking to a really sweet MFT, I want to say, and I was telling her that, I'm starting to think that balance is, like, it doesn't exist. Like, and she was telling me that someone was telling her that why try to achieve balance when life is never balanced. life changes from day to day. So we keep chasing this idea of balance why? Because everyday life changes all the time. So I'm like, oh, that was a really good thing, and it really stuck with me. So I try to remind myself of that every day so that I don't get frustrated. Yeah, because frustration can come in real quick. So this is a real life video going on, by the way. This is perfect timing. Our daughter is standing at the backyard sliding window, currently knocking on the door, wanting to come in. So for some reason, it's like you throw them out and they come back like a boomerang. Like, what's going on? Our son's supposed to be watering the grass. He's watering everything but the grass. And there was a time when we would have been like super annoyed about it, but we've come to find out this summer that, hey, you know,
it is what it is.
It is what it is, you know. All right, so how did you meet your husband? So we met at the grocery store, like you said earlier. Pros and cons of getting married young. Do you want to go first, or?
Yeah, I think the pros of it is, the first pro that comes to mind is that we got to skip the whole, I guess, dating scene and adulthood and the drama that's associated with everything that has to do with dating and clubbing. I mean, we were in the church anyway, so we didn't do none of that anyways.
Yeah.
But the drama associated or connecting with multiple people for long periods of time, that's a pro. We were able to, get married, get settled fairly quickly, and so that was a blessing.
Yeah.
I think one of the cons is you don't get that time for like self-exploration, because we got together right after high school, and so there was very little time for self-exploration. So she was wanting to go to Texas State, I was wanting to go to Howard. That didn't happen.
Yeah. We're still in Modesto.
We're still in Modesto, so that was a big sacrifice. Whereas if we had not got married, she probably would have went to Texas, and I would have went to DC. So that was I think a con.
Yeah, I think so too. So the pro, I think, is just having like a built-in friend to go through turbulence with through life, because no matter what, if you're breathing and moving and living, you're gonna have some type of turbulence. So being young and just kind of having that like rebound's not the word, but like, what is it, like sounding board, I guess, is good, because when we were growing up, we kind of had like a few rough spots growing up. And so it was nice to have somebody that understood like turbulence at a young age, versus somebody that was, if I would have dated somebody that was, that didn't come from the same background, we would have had problems like identifying with each other. So.
And then too, what was I gonna say? Oh, one of the pros too, we were able to establish a household pretty fast. Like we're 30 years old, we're homeowners, we're in our career. So getting married at a young age really gave us some stability.
Yeah.
And a huge advantage, financial advantage, mental stability, financial stability. So. Yeah,
I agree with that. And then cons, I would say the same as Michael said. Like, there was no running space. So I was 17 when we met, and then we got married when I was 20. So. We got engaged at 19 and married the next month. So it was like, we dated for 2 years, and at 19 you're still really young. So I didn't have a lot of running space to figure out myself before I was a wife. And then 7 months into the marriage, we conceived our first son. So it was like boom, 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 boom. So self-exploration I think is a very important thing. We started with nothing, basically. Like, we started in a tiny apartment. But we got to build together, and I think that was a pro. Being able to build together. Yeah, I think that was a pro. And I want to say, I think it was necessary for us to get married young. Everybody's life journey is different, so I'm not encouraging you or discouraging you. You kind of know what's best for yourself. But I think that we had to get married young. I think it was God's plan, because I don't know that I would have been able to survive at 18 in Modesto by myself, like as far as like rent and bills and car notes and all that stuff. And I don't know how Michael would have did on his own, but my parents moved 4 hours away when I was 18, so I chose to stay here. So I don't know how many jobs I would have had to needed to like be able to sustain like a home by myself. So I needed those two incomes, and for him, you know, an anchoring ground from him, because my parents were gone. So it kind of just, to me, it was all God's plan, and it all worked out. All right. What made me want to start my own business? So I always had this desire to start my own business because I never really liked. Okay. Transparent moment. Like, I never really liked to report to like a boss on my every single, like, I didn't like micromanagement, basically. And the job that I was working when we first got married, it was very much like micromanagement. So I just didn't like that feeling. Oh, can I take off to take my son to a doctor's appointment? Oh, can I leave early because I have I didn't like that feeling. And then when I had kids, it became even more important to me to be able to just go to the doctor's appointment, just go to the assembly, help in the classroom and things like that. So yeah, my kids and just not wanting to feel confined is why I started my own business.
I'd say too, probably legacy.
Yeah.
Wanting to establish and be able to generate some type of generational wealth.
Yeah.
Have something to pass on to the kids, and
yeah. So basically, my kids is what like kicked me in the butt to actually get the business going. And I think staying at home with my daughter, which is there's a whole story behind that. So if you guys stay tuned, I'm going to be doing an update on that as well. But staying at home with her, it was like you sink or swim, because I want to raise my kids. I think it's very important. I think the world is changing drastically every day. And I think that children need authentic parenting on a daily basis, not just, oh, we've been at work all day until 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm going to give you some food, you go to sleep, and we're going to do it all over again. I think that kids need more than that. Just to become more authentic adults, and not just like surface, technology-based, screen-based, robots, basically. They need that face-to-face interaction with their parents, to make a long story short. And then number one, marriage advice.
I'd say be committed to serving who you are married to. So it's not 50-50, because if you live 50-50, you always come up short, and someone will always be like disappointed. So just live to serve, live to learn, to listen. You got to learn how to listen. Communication is key.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's funny because you basically took my answer in so many words, because I was going to say the same thing. Like, if you give your partner 100% and they give you 100%, then everybody's happy. So you have to, the thing is, you have to be willing though. So being stubborn is not a good attribute in marriage. You have to be willing to be flexible. Remember that both people are two separate people that are living together, that are coexisting. So his needs and my needs are two separate lists. So as long as I'm trying and willing to try to check off everything on his list and vice versa, then I think that you'll be okay.
You just got to be committed to the process and understand.
Yeah.
It's a day-to-day thing. We are in our 11th year, or coming up to our 11th anniversary. We just celebrated 10 years last year.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, you're learning each other day by day. You change day by day. And so we learn each other's nuances, and stay flexible, stay adaptable.
That's good.
And just be committed to service, love.
Man, we gotta make a t-shirt that say that. Stay flexible with a hashtag marriage on the back. I think so. Well, guys, thanks for tuning into our Get to Know Us. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned for some more updates. Have a good night.
Bye.